The NBA has been a wild ride so far this season, but one thing that's been missing has been trades so far. We haven't seen a trade since the summer when Russell Westbrook was traded to the Rockets, and it would be fun to see some more action around the league. So enough of the intro, let's just go straight into 5 blockbuster trades that would shock the NBA. First up, I have the Miami Heat sending Goran Dragic and Myers Leonard to the Utah Jazz for Mike Conley and 2 future second round picks. I think it's pretty safe to say that the Mike Conley experiment has not worked out for the Jazz. He's just not been a good fit, and he's really struggled to shoot the ball. He's missing easy floaters he used to hit, and the Jazz's offense is reliant on him and Mitchell scoring and running the show. The Jazz just need to make a change, and they could do that with trading for Goran Dragic. Dragic has his own problems, as he's somewhat injury prone and his defense is slightly below average, but he would help give the Jazz's offense a big boost that they desperately need. He's a proven scorer, and he's been great off the bench for the Heat this season when he's healthy. He's averaging 15.9 points, 5 assists, 3.2 rebounds, and 0.7 steals this season in 28.7 minutes per game. He's shooting an efficient 46.6% from the field, 40.6% from 3, and 71.1% from the free throw line. He would help bring more playmaking and spacing for the Jazz, and he would take a lot of pressure off of Mitchell on offense. Dragic seems to be a much better off-ball player than Conley, and I think he would thrive playing off of Mitchell. On the other hand, the Heat would do this deal to get some assets in the 2 future second round picks, and I think Conley would be a solid fit in Miami. While he has struggled to shoot in the paint, he's been solid from outside, shooting 37.4% from 3. The Heat would need him to focus on just being mainly an outside shooter if he can't get his inside game going, and also playing stellar perimeter defense. A defensive backcourt of Conley and Butler would be sick, and opposing guards are going to have a lot of trouble going up against them. And if Conley in the starting lineup does not work, the Heat could shift him to the bench, and I think he would play much better being the primary ball handler and playmaker for the second unit. You know, actually thinking about it, I think a big reason why Conley is struggling with the Jazz is because this is the first time he's playing more off the ball with Mitchell as the main guy. Back when he was with the Grizzlies, he was the starting point guard and the main ball handler for the team. Having him run the show as a featured scorer off the bench may be what he needs to get him going again, and I do think a move to Miami can help him get out of his funk. So next up, I have the Miami Heat sending Dion Waiters to the Los Angeles Lakers for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Quinn Cook. Before you guys hop in the comments and say KCP has a no trade clause, I do know that, and this trade would only work if KCP accepts the trade, and I think he actually may do that if the Heat can offer him a bigger role compared to the current situation he's in LA. So say he does waive his no trade clause, I could see this trade happening. The Lakers will do this because even though they've been playing amazing basketball this season, their bench just seems to be lacking in terms of scoring. Kuzma has simply not been good this season, and he's struggling to be that third scorer the Lakers need to help run the second unit. Waiters could be that guy, and I think LeBron and AD can keep his huge ego in check. When Waiters does have his head on straight, he's a great scorer who can put up points in a hurry. He's a good 3-point shooter, and if the Lakers can get the good Waiters for essentially nothing, that would be a huge win. For the Heat, they would do this deal to get rid of Waiters, who has been a head case this year, and KCP would also give them a solid wing defender, with Quinn Cook also providing some scoring off the bench. Overall, this would be more of a risky move, especially for LA, but it could pay off huge dividends if LeBron and AD can get Waiters into the Lakers' winning mindset. Alright, next up, I have the New York Knicks trading Dennis Smith Jr. to the Wizards for Troy Brown Jr. and a future second round pick. This is definitely a fun one, as both Smith and Brown need a change of scenery. To start off, the Knicks would do this trade to get rid of their logjam at point guard, and it does not look like Smith is the Knicks point guard of the future. He just doesn't fit well next to Barrett, and he has been flat out terrible this season. However, I would argue that a lot of this is due to Fizdale's poor coaching, and this is why I think a change of scenery would be great for him. Getting another young player in Brown along with another asset would help recoup at least some of the value for Smith Jr., and Brown could be a solid wing off the bench for New York. The Wizards would do this trade to get a potential starting point guard of the future for cheap, and I do think Smith Jr. still has a lot of untapped potential. Whether or not he can be a starter, he will at least get the chance to get a bigger role to prove he deserves to be one with the Wizards. He would see around 25 to 30 minutes per game being the starting point guard, and he and Beal could potentially be an exciting backcourt. But say he doesn't play that well, he could just slide back to the bench once Wall returns. Then, he could run the second unit for Washington, and it's definitely possible he could develop into more of a spark plug 6-man. Overall, I like this swap for both sides, and we'll see if a trade like this ends up happening before the trade deadline. Now we'll move to the West with the San Antonio Spurs sending LaMarcus Aldridge to the Miami Heat for Justice Winslow, Myers Leonard, and a future lottery protected first round pick. I like this trade for both sides, and we'll first start off from the Heat's perspective. They would be getting a borderline all-star level player who can play the 4 or the 5, and he would be a huge upgrade over Myers Leonard. A starting lineup of Nunn, Butler, Robinson, Aldridge, and Bam Adebayo has a great balance of scoring and defense, and I do think Aldridge could push them over the top of being legitimate title contenders. Aldridge would give the Heat another scoring option and element in their offense, as he provides excellent post scoring and money elbow jumpers. He's also become a decent rim protector, and he could be great as a small ball 5 when Adebayo needs a breather. It would hurt to give up Winslow, but if it means getting Aldridge, I do think it's worth it for the Heat who are looking to win now. So for the Spurs, they would do this trade to essentially start the rebuild. Winslow is a versatile wing who can play the point as well, and he's on a very reasonable contract. He would be one of the main focal points of their offense, and he could put up some big stats in San Antonio. They would also be getting another asset in the future first round pick, and we all know how good the Spurs are at drafting. Who knows, that pick could become a potential star, and this package for Aldridge will be a great haul for someone who is getting up there in age and isn't a part of the Spurs' future plans. We'll see if this trade ends up happening, but if not, I think Aldridge will almost certainly be on another team by the trade deadline. And before we get into my final and favorite trade of this list, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes confusion out of buying tickets, and using the app, you can see which ticket is a good deal which has a green dot, or a bad deal which has a red dot for any sporting event or concert. It's an easy to navigate app, and it's a must-have for anyone who's interested in attending an event. Use my discount code THETBALL to get $20 off your first purchase when you first sign up for an account, and I'll leave a link to the site where you can sign up, or you can also download the app on your phone as well and use my code to get the discount there. And finally, to round off this list, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder trading Danilo Gallinari to the Dallas Mavericks for Courtney Lee, Dwight Powell, and a future first round pick. So I love this trade for both sides, and I think this could make the Mavs offense unstoppable. A starting lineup of Luka Doncic, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, Danilo Gallinari, and Kristaps Porzingis would have shooting at every position and an incredible amount of space. Doncic would have a field day every game with the amount of room he would have to drive and get into the paint, where he could either score at the rim or collapse the defense and kick it out to 4 other options out at the perimeter. Gallinari would give him a great option on kickouts for open threes, and Danilo is shooting 43.2% from downtown this season. He would also give the Mavs another scoring option when Doncic or Porzingis needs a break, and he's a walking mismatch on offense for opposing wings. The Mavs are already one of the best offensive teams in the league, and Gallinari would somehow make them even better. The Thunder would do this trade to get some solid assets in another first round pick, and Powell is a nice bench piece who could be a good pick and roll partner with Shai. After trading Gallinari, Powell is likely up next, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Thunder hold the fire sale on almost all their players at the trade deadline. So that's a wrap. Thank you all for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video and want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on my newest video will be coming out. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram and hit me up if you want to talk about basketball or business. Just drop a comment down below on my photo or DM me, and I'll definitely try to get back to most of you guys there. Drop a comment down below on what was your favorite trade from this video, or if you have any other trade ideas. Let me know, as I do read comments. I'm definitely interested to see what you guys have to say there. So with all that being said, once again, thank you all for watching, and hopefully I will see you on my next video. Peace.